Hello, my name's Ethan. Make sure to check my website, ethanwrenn.com. There you can find links to all of my various socials. We're currently live on Twitch, YouTube, and the front page of my website. I'd really appreciate if you guys went over to the website, checked it out. Also, make sure to follow or subscribe on whatever platform you might be watching, so you'll be notified when I go live next. On my website, I have a blog. Go to ethanwrenn.com, click the blog button at the top right-hand corner, and you'll be presented with a bunch of different articles pertaining to finance, the history of some of the companies we cover here on this channel, gaming, emulation. I'm sure you will find something that you find interesting, so make sure to go check it out. I'd really appreciate any feedback that you might be inclined to provide. On my YouTube channel, make sure you go check it out. We have over 830 videos now. If you guys go to somebody's YouTube channel at the top, there's a playlist button, and you could see a bunch of different playlists made by the creator that helps organize their content, making it easier to find what you're looking for. If you're looking for stock analysis, gaming videos like World of Warcraft, crypto videos, commodity videos, it's all there, neatly organized for your viewing pleasure. The next thing we are going to be looking at is symbol EWI, but first, we're going to recap some of our history forecasting this symbol over the past couple of years, and let's see what I've had to say over EWI. This video is called Running Laps in EWI, which is an US derivative that represents a basket of assets from Italy. From there, you can find links to all my various social of a basket of assets across Italy. Okay. Now, a lot has changed between when this video was filmed, but you're going to see this video you're about to watch is from that time we shorted. That means we're going to be recapping a recap, right? Okay. So just to fully demonstrate our relationship with some of these global indexes, global ETFs, products from the other side of the world, right? Just to show that we've been around doing this for quite a while. Just
like this moved
just
down
watch.
as much as 52% over a period of, let's say, 800 days. So give or take. Again, this is some very macro stuff, some very big picture stuff. This is
The original projection I'm putting in place was mid 2021, and EWI was at a share price of $32.85, and we were projecting a downside move as much as 52% to the downside.
Amazing by any means. Again, the U.S. national average being 4%.
Look at
so 2%.
Again, we talked a lot about this. We talked a lot about this indicator here today and just how bullshit it is. It literally just is an RSI just portrayed differently. As you can see, the RSI peaking out and it's telling you to buy. And guess what? When it's RSI's at the bottom, it's telling you, like, it's just telling you the exact opposite of what to do. It's insane, actually. But that's why we were explaining it earlier in regards to the cycle of emotions, right? When this indicator over here on the right, same with an RSI, is super peaked out or super strong buy, it can't go from strong buy to stronger buy. It can't do that. You should think of it as a toggle switch. You shouldn't be placing your trades in the direction this thing's pointing. You should think of, oh, it's super buy, so it's already maxed out on its buy, right? The only thing it could then do is flip over to the strong sell side of things, which would then drive those headlines. People who actually follow an indicator such as this would cause them to close their longs and potentially enter shorts, and you ride that momentum. Like, the direction this indicator right here is pointing really means nothing, and instead it's where this indicator could then flip to is what you should be interpreting out of an indicator like this, right? Because again, it's at the very top. This video was filmed October 18th when the markets were at its peak. What a coincidence. And what were we doing? We were telling you everything's super peaked out. You don't want to be placing your trades now. If anything, you want to be entering shorts, and that's what we did. That's what we're showcasing here in this video for you, the before and the after, right?
That's not bad. If you were to be in this ETF, you'd want your average to be somewhere along this descending support here. This green line could be looked at as the support for the downtrending price channel. Right now, it actually kind of represents a good opportunity for a short for people who trade like that or move like that. We have the monthly 180 moving average acting as resistance. We're starting to see a little bit of flagging here. Let's get in there on the weekly and see. That's almost perfect flagging, right? Let's look.
As you can see in the Discord here, come up where we were talking about it. I said the video. This was the chart we had in the video, right? This was the chart, the projection to the downside. This happened simultaneously with the US. This happened simultaneously with the VEAs. This happened simultaneously with the VGKs. This happened simultaneously with the AAXJ. Like, this should not surprise you where I'm about to show you, right? It doesn't get more perfect, right? It doesn't get more perfect than that. Like, if you guys would have been placing these shorts, they literally would have been printing for you over the past 6 months, because I can't emphasize the word was enough when we do these past tense before after videos, was at the resistance. And now it is way down here at a support. Let's go look at it in trading view, right? It's going to look really familiar to you guys. It's going to look really familiar. I need my Discord. So as you can see in this video, we showcased a prior example where we had shorted Italy successfully. And again, we're not updating you every day, telling you which day the wind's blowing. We have one video at the top telling you where it's going to go. We get the direction right, the distance right. We get the amount of time it's going to take right. All of these things. This is information you really can't get anywhere else. So when we made that video in 2021, EWI was at a share price of $32.85. And closing out, we then made a follow-up video telling you that we had successfully shorted Italy. Maybe you potentially want to be closing some of these shorts. And this was at a price point of $21.92, near 40% move to the downside, and very successful, again, using these clear price channels, supports, resistances, a lot of the same indicators you see me use in all of my videos.
Could I have been more? Not only has this chart not been changed at all since we last talked about it, at all, just like FTX, it just filled out perfectly. Look at that. The entry point right there, just right there, below this candle right here, all the way down. Look at that. Currently down 35%. 35%, and not just a single company, but an index that represents a variety of assets across an entire country. We don't just move singular companies, we don't just move singular sectors, we move legitimately entire countries out here. And if you're just seeing this video, okay, it might be hard to understand, but we just finished talking about VGK, right, and how it portrayed the same thing. We just finished talking about how all these different U.S. indexes have sold off the past 6 months, and we were there, guys. We were there at the top, telling you this is peak, right? It's not just the S&P that was peaking a year ago, but if you looked at all of these indexes that represent asset classes from all around the world, they were all simultaneously peaking out. And that is what allowed us to recognize that maybe back in October, when this video was made, would not have been a good time to be buying anything, regardless of what country, regardless of what sector. Maybe you shouldn't have been buying anything back then. That's what we were trying to explain. And we were explaining it by showing not just how the RSIs were super overbought on a singular index, but how all of these things happen simultaneously every time. And here we are a year later. All these indexes are now at the supports. All the RSIs are no longer overbought, but instead they are oversold across every single country simultaneously. If we use all of the same indicators and knowledge set that allow us to short the entire world like we did for the past year, those same indicators, those same people are now pointing that it is time to buy. That's what I really want you guys to understand, right? Like, honestly, I don't even need to update this chart anymore. But again, this is the same chart you guys just saw in the video. I want to overlay some of the symbols we looked at today, right? AAJX, or was it XJ, right? Asian region. Let's keep going. Add more sporting details. In March, index, but again, RSI's overbought, RSI's oversold. It's about recognizing when these things are overvalued and undervalued on a global macro perspective that allow you to leverage into these trades and really get the most out of them. And just because there's a declining price channel on EWI doesn't mean there's not money to be made here. If I was interested in placing a trade on this, where would I think it would go soon? Well, it is currently at support, and if you would ride it up to its trend resistance or the 180, so you could say as much as, make sure you look here, right? Because this is a descending chart, right? The monthly, always keep in mind the time frames are represented by the M or the W right here next to this company symbol or product symbol. This blue line is acting as a resistance for this specific country. So there's a chance that it would be 40, but it could go as high as 50. 40% on a major market index is huge, guys, because keep in mind, when an index moves a little, its underlyings can move a lot. Now, should we look at the underlyings real quick? I think we will.
So that brings us to the real question here. You saw that way back when we originally opened this, we were able to short Italy successfully from a price point of 32 all the way down to, what was it, 22? It's about 30, 40%. And then you saw at the bottom, we closed the trade visually, right? You know, we came in here and told you, like, we're out of this short. And not only did we state that, you know, letting you know it was very successful. This, again, is an entire country. It's not just one company we're talking about. This is representative of a wide variety of assets from Italy, right? So to be able to move these things like this, it's not no chump change. It's not no penny stock being pushed around by a mailing list. It's very different. It's very different. It's not the same. But again, not only did we recap that trade, we also implemented the projections telling you the next step in the chain, where it's going to go from there. We put in new projections to show you guys, right? So that comes to the question, what is the price point of EWI today? Well, are you ready for this? I don't know if you guys are ready to see this, to be honest, but mind blown. It could not have been more accurate. This chart has not changed since we made the video. This video wasn't even that long ago. It was 4 months ago when the That Time We Shorted video came out, right? Recapping the Italy trade, right? So in the past 4 months, it was at $21.92. It is now at $29, and it went as high as $30.81. If you even look at the measurement we put in place, it is the exact same, guys. It is the exact same, $30. It could not have been more
accurate. I cannot emphasize that enough. It was a direct hit. Sniper aim. They're shooting and they hit what they're aiming at. It's mind-blowing, to be honest. Again, this is not a singular company, but we literally made a full circle out here, a full lap. A full lap. Now, EWD does offer dividend of 4.09%. Very solid, very solid. I love this symbol, to be honest. I trade it often, as you can see, both up and down. You know, I make these videos to show you guys the logic and the methodology of how we're able to identify these opportunities before they happen. That's what really matters. Say whatever you want. What you just saw is absolutely mind-blowing. To say that, again, an entire country, we were able to go from point A to point B to point C. It's just all the way around, you know. I don't know anybody else who really trades like this. I really don't, and I can't.
Gosh, old me is making future me's job really easy on selling you guys on these trades. But again, this is showcasing our multiple years of history accurately forecasting some of these US-based derivatives that are representative of basket of assets in foreign countries. This one specifically is Italy. We just finished talking about ePool. I highly recommend going and researching some of our trades we've made on ePool. They've done extremely well, and it's not a coincidence that we're kind of grouping all of these different products together into when I'm covering them, right? Well, I'll have a single stream and I'm covering kind of all these products back to back, and then I'm covering all these products back to back again, and then I'm covering them all back to back again. This is not a coincidence. So again, you saw us successfully ride it down from 2022 as much as 40%. We then put in a projection at the bottom. We told you guys, okay, close your shorts. You definitely don't want to be holding this. You don't have to go long, just you definitely don't want to be shorting this anymore. After that, you saw a 40% run in what was, I mean, let's be honest, this was probably like 4 or 5 months of time. This entire country, Italy, ran as much as 40% in, well, what was like 5 months. Year to date, the S&P was probably 25%. During this time period, the S&P was probably a little less than like 10%, and this had gone as much as 40%. Europe had done extremely well throughout these time periods, and again, we made these videos talking all about it. Let's continue to see what I had to say.
Emphasize that enough. Again, it blows my mind too sometimes, but I'm just so used to seeing it. I'm going to show you even more, guys, even more, but count on seeing more videos like this that will start referencing previous recap, global economics, whatever it is. We made the short extremely successful. We told you guys at the end, yo, we're done here, right here at that $22 price point. We're done here. You know, not only did we say we're done with the short, but we're saying it made a 43% move in what is 160. Oh, wait, that's wrong. 120 days. 120 days. That is very solid. If you annualize that, what's that? 120% per year. You know, if you would have rode down with us, you would have made 40% here, and then you would have made another 40%, and you just keep compounding, exponentially gaining. It's, you know, and that's how we move.
Very excellent. Very excellent. So let's check and see where EWI is today. Here we are. Here is EWI as of today. EWI is currently trading at a share price of $33.56. Note how at the end of that video, we did not put a future projection in place. Well, here we are. If you watched our ePool video, we explained that there could be some sideways movement in ePool that could last for 4 to 5 months. And it's been roughly 4 to 5 months since we last covered, probably even more than 4 to 5 months now that I'm really looking at it. But here we are. EWI is at its previous high when we originally made our short video back in 2021. Roughly the same price, I'll be honest with you. Let's take a closer look at that. Yes, back in 2021, when we originally shorted EWI, it was at a share price of $32.85, and it is currently at a share price of $33.50. An entire lap has been made out here. So why are we talking about ePool or EWI here today? Well, EWI is currently extremely overbought. Its RSI is peaking out. Its MACD is peaking out. A lot of the same indicators that we would typically look at when covering any symbol, regardless of what country it is, where it is, are all telling us that this is not a great time to be purchasing this asset. If we come down here and look at this indicator that we just explained how crappy it is, it's currently pointing at buy, which means you know it's definitely not a buy. When you interpret this indicator, it's not about what direction it's pointing. It's about what direction it could flip to, changing its recommendation that you need to be worried about. Let's go and look in the Discord. In the Discord, we actually have an international investing section, and we've had it for a very long time. And in there, as recent as December 21st, 2023, we've been talking about EWI and its overbought nature. Let's look a little closer. As you can see, these are some of the charts you can produce in our Discord for free by utilizing the StockBot. We love the people at StockBot. Very great people who make really great tools. And as you can see, just look at how, photogenic this chart is. It honestly is quite fun to be involved with trading this, both on the way up and the way down. You have this beautiful horizontal price channel. We have our RSI at the bottom. We have our MACD at the bottom. And as you can see from the RSI is currently overbought closer to that 70 point, which is typically a sell signal, or at least telling you that this is not a time to be allocating into this particular product. As far as the MACD is currently signaling overbought nature, which makes sense. We've seen tremendous growth from EWI. EWI has outpaced the S&P, and as some other countries, 54% is huge. It's about half what Poland did, but about twice what the S&P did. So it's, again, performed extremely well. And it's very easy to see this trend resistance here, guys. I shouldn't even need to draw a single line. It should be quite obvious. Again, if you look at the Bollinger Bands here, represented by this shaded blue area, it is currently at the top end of its standard deviation. And if you look at the bottom end of its standard deviation, it's exactly where our projection is. We are currently projecting a decrease of as much as 38% on symbol EWI, which would bring the share price for EWI down to roughly $21, that exact same price point that we had previously shorted it to in 2021 through 2022. It's the exact same price point that it's been at in 2020, as well as 2016, as well as 2012. And again, the price channel currently looks very horizontal, but as you can see, it continues to decay over time, this symbol, right? It has at one point been at a price point of $71.80 and then experienced this extreme sell-off by as much as 70%. This is definitely one to keep on your watch list. And if you guys may have noticed, we had made a video covering the VIX, which is the volatility index, on my channel. Make sure you go check it out. And basically what we covered in that video was that the VIX is at historic lows, and it's highly probable that we're going to see an increase in options activity moving through 2024. And if you're familiar with the implications that might have for stocks, typically when you see increases in volatility, it coincides with a downward movement in share prices on stocks. So definitely something to keep in mind, potentially prepare for, plan what your potential route might be for 2024. And I'm pretty sure that's everything we need to say about EWI. We're going to move into our next symbol.